everybody has their favorite Anchorman scene. What's yours?
Oh man. Favorite scene, I don't know. I really laugh when Will Ferrell says milk was a bad choice. Because I remember when he did it.
Yeah.
And it was so surprising because we all left the shot as the group. We're all leaving and we all walk right past camera, but Will is standing there and he's supposed to be yelling at us down the street. And I remember Steve Carell and I standing right there, and Will is right here yelling things out, and he's just making things up. And he just took a swig of milk and said, milk was a bad choice. And I just remember looking at Steve Carell, and he and I looking at each other, like trying not to ruin the take, to laugh. Cause this is the funniest thing I'd ever heard.
This is years and years and years ago now. And you go right back to that. You can feel when he has the milk dripping down his chin.
I just remember so vividly. Milk was a bad choice. Just such a simple, perfect thing to say.
Concise.
It was really hot. Mm-hmm. It's just like, whoa.
I was talking to Kirk Cousins once about this, the Vikings quarterback, and I was saying, do you know already in training camp, like, this team's going to be good? Or like, shit, like, this team, we don't have the horses. Do you know that? And his answer was not really. You don't really know because so many things pan out and you don't know how rookies are going to play. Could you tell on the Anchorman set, this is special, or this is a good comedy and it should be fine? Or did you know this is actually something special?
Well, I knew that it was funny to us. Like, I remember thinking that even when I read the script, I thought, oh my God, this is the funniest thing ever. And I thought, I knew when we were filming things, certain things were hilarious. Now, how it all plays together, how it's going to work out in the finished product, how it'll get edited, you never really know. But I knew Adam McKay and Will and all the people involved were incredible and really funny, and that it was also really different than other things. But I had no idea of whether or not it would be successful. And it was a movie that actually gained, I think, popularity and success on repeated viewings and on cable and stuff. It did okay in the theaters, but I feel like it really gained some fans once it had been on cable for a while.
I remember I saw it in the ArcLight in Hollywood with some friends, and I mean, we were crying in our seats. It was the hardest I've ever laughed in a movie theater at about 50 different spots. I know it went through a million stages of evolution and development, and originally it was going to be newsmen versus apes with throwing stars on an island, and that's a true story. Mm-hmm. You told me once, though, wasn't it kind of reinvented in the middle of it? The whole panda thing was something that was constructed midway through, and there was supposed to be a whole nother storyline where Ron goes missing or something. Help me understand what was supposed to happen.
There was another storyline that we shot, and was that there was this kind of rebel group that abducts Ron. Okay. And we have to go get him back. And it was all part of the original film, but it didn't, I never saw it when it was all kind of edited together. It now does exist, and you can see it in another version called Wake Up Ron Burgundy. It is out there, but
he goes blind, right?
Yeah, they took it and made another movie out of it. But they kind of wound up scrapping that, and then we did some stuff at the end with the bears. All that stuff with the bears came up with a new ending. So it was all kind of they worked on it after, we all kind of came back and did some more shooting.
There's a line, if I'm not mistaken, about Ron is so down in the dumps and he's lost his vision. And I think he says that he's so depressed that he's blind and I can't even masturbate.
Oh, that was in Anchorman 2. And that was he's living in a lighthouse. Okay. And and he can't even. That was the scene that I remember in the first one and the second one. There were two scenes that we never could make it through. We were laughing so hard, couldn't even shoot. And that was the one on Anchorman 2. And he's blind and he's talking about he can't even masturbate. And we're saying, well, just because you're blind, you can't. And then he starts, and Will is just a genius. He's just seeing things and making up, and then he had to pleasure himself to the memory of Mrs. Buttersworth's, the bottle of syrup. And then he said, I could go really, I don't know.
Do it.
Not proper, but
give it to me.
And then he said, and then he finally was able to figure it out. And when he figured out the amount, he said, now I know what those poor villagers of Pompeii experienced when they were rained down with hot ash and lava, except in my case, it was not hot lava, but hot, frothy ejaculate.
And this is not scripted. This is just, he just starts, the hot, frothy.
The hot, frothy. And that he knows, because the sheer amount is exactly what the villagers of Pompeii experienced. And I remember, again, looking at Carell, who is usually pretty good at keeping it together and he was the worst. He was so far gone, crying, laughing, but oh my God.
You're supposed to stand there and be Fantana and just listen? That's impossible.
There are many times
holy shit,
that Will Ferrell is very good at that. He's really good at just holding back and then saying something, and you just hope that there was at least 1 second of air before the laughter so that it's a usable take, because wow, oh my God. I mean, I could think of so many he said that it's like, that's done. Can't go past it. It's so funny.